The illusion formation set up by Margaret was undeniably brilliant. Even innate level experts, those considered martial grandmasters, could easily lose their way within the formation and be unable to escape for quite some time. However, in front of a top-tier powerhouse like the god King Zeus, such illusions were rendered ineffective. His divine sense and cultivation had far surpassed the strength threshold of the formation. Even if he couldn't see through it with the naked eye, he could still break it by brute force. No matter the type of formation, they all had a core and a foundation. Once these were hit with overwhelming energy, they'd be damaged, leading to the collapse of the entire formation. That's exactly how God King Zeus dismantled formations, by force. If trapped, he wouldn't even bother scanning with divine sense. Instead, he'd simply unleash his immense power, sweeping through everything within several hundred meters. One energy blast was usually enough to destroy a formation. If one wasn't enough, he'd do it again. With the terrifying cultivation of God King Zeus, there was not a single formation that had ever withstood 3 of his full-powered blasts. Break! Break! Break again! Zeus waved his hand again and again, releasing wave after wave of energy strikes, blasting indiscriminately in all directions. Every kind of formation shattered before him. As he pushed forward, he dismantled formations with ease. Wherever he passed, destruction followed. Trees and rocks were reduced to ruins. Meanwhile, God Queen Hera lazily followed behind him, looking completely disinterested, with no intention of helping at all. And just like that, the 2 god kings made their way up Sunset Mountain. After destroying vast sections of forest and rock, they finally reached the summit. At the top stood a grand and majestic ancient temple. In front of the temple gates, several dozen monks stood guard, all wielding staff weapons. These were elite members of the Arhat Hall. Among them, 2 were martial grandmasters. The moment Zeus and Hera arrived, all the monks grew alert. "Please halt, both of you!" A middle-aged monk holding a Vajra staff shouted sternly. "This is sacred ground of the Buddhist sect. Violence is forbidden here. Please descend the mountain at once. Hand over Dustin, and I'll spare your lives," Zeus said coldly. He didn't regard these monks as a threat, but he could sense a powerful energy near the temple. It felt somewhat similar to the 5 elements blood formation from earlier, but stronger. Amitabha. The sea of suffering is boundless. Turn back before it's too late. I urge you not to shed needless blood, the middle-aged monk said earnestly. Cut the crap. If you won't hand him over, then you'll die, Zeus shouted in a deep voice, his patience exhausted. Once he made a move, rivers of blood would surely follow. If you insist on walking this path, then this humble monk will have no choice but to stop you, the monk said with a frown. Stop me? Just you baldies? Humph. You've no idea what you're dealing with. Zeus couldn't be bothered to argue anymore. He simply raised a finger. Zrak! A bolt of blue lightning shot out, aiming straight for the monk's chest. Given his strength, ordinary martial grandmasters would be killed instantly upon impact. Buzz! Just as the lightning bolt was about to strike its target, a golden light suddenly flashed. The lightning was completely swallowed by the golden light, vanishing without a trace, as if it had fallen into the sea. Zeus raised an eyebrow, a hint of surprise on his face. That flash of golden light just now, if he wasn't mistaken, it looked like a golden pagoda. It appeared and vanished in an instant. Yet his powerful lightning strike didn't even make a ripple. This was definitely strange. Interesting. Hera murmured behind him, finally perking up a bit. She had completely ignored all those formations earlier, but this golden pagoda, appearing in a flash and glowing brilliantly, caught her attention. It was big, beautiful, radiant, and it could absorb energy. If she could get her hands on it, it would undoubtedly be an exceptional defensive artifact. So, you've got a magical treasure protecting you. No wonder you dare stand your ground at the gate. Zeus narrowed his eyes. But I'd like to see just how many of my attacks your little treasure can withstand. As he spoke, he raised his hands slowly, fingers forming a claw, and began charging up his power. In the center of his palm, a ball of blue lightning formed. At first, it was only the size of an egg. But as Zeus poured in energy, it quickly expanded, soon growing to the size of a basketball. Electric arcs danced within it, surging with terrifying energy and intense pressure. Break for me! Zeus grabbed the lightning orb and hurled it at the temple gate. The orb shot forward like a cannonball, carrying with it destructive force. Buzz! The massive golden pagoda appeared once more, like a mountain shrouding the entire temple. At the same time, the lightning orb slammed into the golden pagoda. Boom! A thunderous explosion rang out. The golden pagoda trembled slightly but quickly stabilized. As for Zeus' lightning orb, most of its energy was absorbed by the pagoda the moment it exploded. The small portion that remained turned into a wave of force, blowing away in the opposite direction of the temple. Zeus frowned after this second failure. Now, he finally realized, this golden pagoda was no ordinary artifact.
And just can't accept it. This can't be the end yet. You promised to never leave, and now you're gone. Can't believe I can feel the world slipping away as you slowly fade from my everyday. You promised forever a love without end, but now I'm left broken, struggling to mend. I thought we were so tied, destined for a lifetime, love with no end, love with no end. Staying in my imagination, memorizing the past time, the secrets, the love, the care. Now they're echoes in the air. I still see your face in every place, feel your warmth, your gentle grace. But now there's just an empty space, and I'm lost in this endless chase, keeping you in my heart, a piece of you I'll never let go. Though distance brings separation, in my heart